We were excited to get our first two Big Ten wins at home against Minnesota and Michigan State. Obviously, it took us a little bit longer in overtime. Not as happy with the result against Michigan in overtime. But the one thing I told the players afterward the game is that the game is going to teach us something again like Stanford did. I give credit to Michigan because they came up with a game plan. And as a youthful team, we weren't able to kind of figure out what to do as quick as we needed to. And again, I think by going back and watching the videotape, it's going to make us better moving forward to our games. And we're looking forward to playing Maryland on the road and having an opportunity to show our improvement at that point. So.
What does it say about your team and the fight that they put in going into 3 different overtimes over the 3 games?
You know, I tell them all the time that overtime is a little bit more of a gut check to see who's going to make the right decisions and stay focused, but also kind of just who wants to have the competitive edge. And obviously in the first 2 games, you know, we were able to show that, and it was exciting. You know, I think in the 3rd game, I think looking at it from a coaching perspective, I don't know if that, because we got the first 2 results, we kind of took a deep breath and said, okay, well, we've done this before, and this is going to fall the same way. So it's something that we're going to address in training and talk about. You know, we can't take anything for granted. You know, your previous games don't account for what's going to happen in the game there, and that we're going to need to stay focused. I think the other thing we need to look at is we need to go back and kind of see how we're going to change our attack a little bit. We want to be a little bit different in our attack and add some flavor and some different avenues, and it's something that we're going to be looking at. And the other part is that we give up 3 goals on the weekend, and not happy about that also. So we're going to see how those came about, and again, try to see if we can fix that problem before we play Maryland.
So did your team start making adjustments, though, to the way Michigan was playing? And I asked that saying, okay, that could be a step if they were making adjustments, just ran out of time or whatever.
We did. We made some adjustments. What was great about our game is it's a fluid game, and that you know, we made the adjustments, and good for Michigan, they made adjustments back. And again, you know, one of the reasons why we were successful early in the season is that we had a system and we had an idea. And I think as we move on through the Big Ten play, people will start to read what we're doing, and we're going to have to be able to adjust and change on the fly. And it's a great lesson. I'm excited, you know, to get to practice on Tuesday and talk about that and talk about how, you know, we're going to be better. And again, I look at our youthfulness. You know, we're starting 2 seniors, 1 senior field player, and 1 junior. And so this challenge that Michigan gave us on the 2nd day in heat, having to make different tactical decisions, is going to make us better because we're going to learn from it. And as a coach, I can get excited. I'm not excited about the loss. I think no coach is ever to lose in overtime. It's always hard to do. But I'm excited about, again, teaching this young group, and they're very open to hearing it and getting better.
Young Dani Rhodes is off to a pretty good start, isn't she? Tell us about her, please.
She's off to a great start. You know, last year she was hampered by a bunch of injuries, and so she didn't get as much playing time as. But if you look at her stats, and obviously our stat people know this way better than me, that she has big goals in big games. Again, she did it against Michigan here, as she got a goal, and against Michigan State. So, and also against Virginia, against Florida last year. So she has a lot of goals against top 10 teams. So I always say big players do big things in big games, and Dani's proven that for us over and over again.
Coach, you've had a lot of close emotional wins this year, starting with Virginia and going back to these past 3 overtime games. How much of an emotional toll do you see that take on your team in both a positive and negative aspect?
I think the wins are the positive, right? But one thing we talk to the players about is you can't get too high on the highs and too lows on the lows. So, you know, we have a victory in overtime against Michigan State and then a loss against Michigan. Again, I always tell the players you have to trust the process. So every game teaches us something, and then we have to keep even keeled about it. So we can't throw the baby out with the bathwater just because we have 1 loss. We have to go back to do the things that we do well to be successful. And, you know, especially with this young group, it just, again, teaches them how to handle it, and we have conversations about it all the time. We talk about their preparation builds confidence, and those overtime wins build confidence to have success in the future. But if it's overconfident, like maybe against Michigan in overtime, we have to balance that out.
Now it looks like you got a pretty tough challenge this weekend because Maryland and Rutgers are both pretty good, aren't they?
Talking like Kelly talked about the Big Ten volleyball, I think Big Ten soccer is going the same way. There are no easy games. You see a result like Ohio State beats Illinois 7-0, and then on the second day, Illinois takes Penn State, who's supposed to be the perennial power of the Big Ten, to the last 40 seconds. The Penn State scores in the last 40 seconds of overtime. So there is no easy game. There is no every team is well coached. So heading into Maryland again, you're right. It's going to be a challenge. They've had a great non-conference schedule, and they've done well with the games in the Big Ten. And again, you turn around playing Rutgers, who is in the top 10. You're going to have to be able to bring it both days. And it's preparing for both teams on this week when you only have 2 days or 3 days to train. Again, this young group is going to be thrown to the wolves and learn and get results the best way they can.
Anything else for Coach? All right.
Thanks.